Shalom, Kohaloyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, I just wanted to make a video. I was kind of just skimming through Wisdom of Solomon 17, and I had mentioned it, I believe, this past Saturday out there teaching. But of course, we as the hopeful elect just have to continue to prepare our minds to see things that we've never seen before. We got to prepare our minds to see things that are going to be odd, different type of things we've never even could have imagined. And I say that because the Lord is going to bring new things to this world. Just like he did in the time of ancient Egypt. It wasn't just those 10 plagues that you read about in the book of Exodus. When you read here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 being one of the chapters that talks about it. And it goes a little bit deeper, or I'll say a lot deeper, into the other plagues that the Lord made happen in Egypt. Now, the Lord said he's going to bring the same plagues upon Egypt as before. Meaning, the Lord is going to also bring some of the things here that we're going to read. But at the same time, it's going to be worse. It's going to be a time like never was, nor shall be. So even though the Lord is going to bring similar plagues as he did to Egypt as before, it's going to be worse. It's going to be different. It's going to be more. And we just have to prepare our minds to see these things. Obviously, the elect are going to be okay no matter what. But that doesn't mean that we don't prepare our minds. It doesn't mean that we don't strive to put ourselves in the best position possible, because we don't know if we're part of that number. Let me hit do not disturb. So I want to start here. I'll probably just read Wisdom of Solomon 17 verse 15 on down. It says verse 14 on down. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, talking about the Egyptians, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them for a sudden fear, and not looked for, came upon them. So of course, none of them were thinking that apparitions were going to appear. I mean, so much was happening already. Firstborn died, water, plagued, locusts, things like that. And then all of a sudden, apparitions, just strange things popping up out of nowhere, and they seeing these things. You know, they were bugged out of their mind. And these same exact type of things are going to happen here in this time, specifically here in Babylon the Great. That's why it's going to be a time like never was, nor shall be. Even just if we're scaling it back a little bit on a more physical plane, you have to be prepared to see death. You have to be prepared to see, killings, shootings, people rioting, millions, things like that, right? And it seems fearful, but that's why you get into the scriptures, because it gives you comfort when you read that the Lord is going to watch over his elect and protect them, keep them safe, make sure they're fed, things like that. But at the same time, it's important to think about these things and wrap your mind around it happening, because it will happen. So verse 16 says, so then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars, right? Referring to basically how they felt. For whether he were husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity, which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness. Whether it were a whistling wind, or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains, these things made them to swoon for fear. Why? Because the Lord plague them with darkness, as it said in verse 17. And I believe it said it higher as well. So on top of the apparitions, the Lord also had it pitch black, basically, in Egypt. It was dark as hell. Just couldn't see anything. And of course, when it's dark as hell, you can't see anything. All you can rely on, the only sense you really have, is your hearing. So they heard a whistling sound, which is supposed to be a smooth sound, or the singing of birds, which is supposed to be pleasant, or it says the spreading of branches, falling of water. All these things are supposed to be pleasant. But then it says, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or running, or skipping of beasts, or a roaring voice of a savage wild beast. So it didn't matter if it was something pleasant that they heard, or actually something dreadful that they heard. Verse 20 says, for the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them only, them meaning the Egyptians, over them only was spread in heavy night an image of that darkness which should afterward receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. Meaning, just the fact that it was pitch black, dark as hell, and they were hearing certain things, they were in their own minds. They were shut up, bound up in chains, couldn't go anywhere. They just felt locked in. No matter what they heard birds singing, and they're just jumping, afraid. They heard a pleasant sound of water, and they're just afraid again, jumping, not knowing what to do. You're supposed to hear a sound of whistling and birds singing, and it's supposed to calm you down. But no, they were effed up in their minds because of the apparitions, and of course, all this happening in pitch black darkness. That's why we say you can't put it past Esau to create an event to where there's a complete blackout. Everything, technology, TV, phones, lights, nothing just working. The grid just messed up. Because the Lord created a blackout in the time of ancient Egypt, he can do the same thing. More than likely will happen in this time as well. Apparitions are going to come on top of famine, on top of other things that we already know, like pestilences, diseases, right? All these things are going to create a time like never was nor shall be. And it's good to think about these things. Why? Because it keeps you having a healthy fear of the Lord. Now you know, okay, I don't want to go through what we just read right here. I want to be cool. The Lord can make it so that it's a complete blackout, utter darkness, but only the elect can see. Only the elect know where they're going. Or only the elect, maybe you can't see, but you're guided by an angel. Like it's dark as hell, but all you see is an angel, and you follow the angel. And then you're good. You and whoever's following you. These are the type of things that you read about in the scriptures. This is why it's good to find comfort in these words, because you start thinking about the endless possibilities and ways that the Lord could save you. Not the negative, not the endless ways in which you could die or get messed up and destroyed. No, we're hoping for good, like the scriptures say. Let me read this in 2nd Ezra. I may have quoted it. I think I did. If not, no matter what, I'm going to read it. 2nd Ezra 15, verses 10 through 12. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So the Lord is going to bring us with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. That's Yahweh Shai. And that's basically, I guess you can say Old English for he's going to deliver us, right? And then at the same time, he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. Egypt right here referring to America. and will destroy all the land thereof. The Lord didn't destroy all the land thereof of ancient Egypt, but all the land thereof of America, or Babylon the Great, or Egypt, is going to be completely destroyed. So this links up with other prophecies concerning America. It says, Egypt shall mourn, meaning the people, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. And that plague is ultimately the nuclear missiles, the destruction from World War III. But before it, once again, there will be a time like never was, nor shall be, which is good for us to think about that time because we want mercy. We want mercy from that time. We don't want to be judged in that time. We want to go through our judgment process right now. What the elect are going through is a judgment slash refining process that's happening to where the Lord is correcting, I'll say our mindset. He's putting us in the proper mindset of being obedient and walking by faith. So that in that day, it's just second nature to us. We can just rely on that mindset. We can rely on our faith. And know that we're going to be guided properly. We're going to be protected. We're going to be eating. We're going to be satisfied in that time. But of course, just wrap your mind around these things. That's all. I think there was one more I wanted to grab. Second Esdras. We read Wisdom of Solomon. It's cool. I quoted it a bunch of times, so I might as well read it as well. Matthew 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So once again, saying the same thing over and over again to be repetitive on purpose, but we have to prepare our minds to see crazy things. Even before the apparitions, even before it gets, super duper buck wild, just in terms of Jacob's trouble. People out here with diseases running rampant, looking crazy, looking like mummies walking around. Yes, it's whatever you can imagine is probably what's going to happen. A time like never was, nor shall be. So, Lord's will, that was edifying. Remember to just stay in the Word. That's all. It's not a hard task that we were given. Stay in the Word, read, find comfort in these scriptures, continue to pray, fast, ask for mercy, repent. That's all you have to do. That's it, and you'll be okay in that day. So once again, Lord's will, this was edifying to the elect. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.